everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and today I am doing what I said I wouldn't do in my recent garden tour. I am ripping out the cold damaged heading vegetables and replacing them with some direct sown seed. Specifically, I found some more California poppies and some cilantro. And I think both of these will look a lot better than cold damaged broccoli and cabbage. So I'll confess, the reason I started ripping these out was because I saw chickweed, a lot of it. You see right here, chickweed. And it was growing all up and amongst these severely damaged broccolis, and I just decided I couldn't handle it. I had to rip them out. Ordinarily, I would cut them down, but I decided instead that I wanted to pull them out and see if there were any seedlings of anything growing, and there are. In this area, it's primarily larkspur. That's what all of this is. And then there's some poppies. That's what that is. So I figured it's better to let those flowering things have some more room than to try and limp along these severely cold damaged plants. I think I'm gonna go ahead and sacrifice these cabbages. I'm gonna leave a couple over here, like this one. Still, it's starting to form a head. This one, I'm like really being optimistic here. But I think it would be better for this space now just to be transitioned into some fresh seed that will tolerate temperature extremes a little bit better. You know, these cool season crops would normally be fine. It was because we were so mild over the holidays for like 3 weeks, totally frost-free, well like into the 80s. Everything got super tender. So when we did get cold, you know, they really took a lot more damage than ordinarily if they had been acclimated to proper winter temperatures. That's just part of the reality of being a gardener in the Southeast, where temperature fluctuations are not new at all. This is just how winter is here, but it can be a little bit heartbreaking. So the first step in doing this kind of midwinter seasonal transition is just going to be to remove the rest of the plants that I think don't deserve this square footage and really do a good job weeding. I have had a major infestation of chickweed in this bed for several years, and today is my opportunity to really, be down on my hands and knees and pull all of it out so that I can, at least in theory, reduce the potential seed that it would set later on this spring. Catching weeds, winter weeds specifically, at this time where they're vegetatively growing is really important because it'll help reduce the amount of seed that's essentially just waiting in the soil to germinate, also known as the seed bank. I didn't do a good job of this last year and I'm paying for it, so I'm gonna try and be a better steward of my own home foodscape this season by hand removing all of the problem plants now. Well, as you can see, I've kept a couple of the cabbages that look the healthiest, and I've just transplanted all of them to sort of the backdrop. That way both sides look symmetrical, and I can just come through and layer some soil cube compost and then direct seed the cilantro and the California poppies. There's a major rainstorm arriving tonight, so I won't even have to worry about irrigating any of this. Nature will take its course, and hopefully I'll have some cabbages to be able to harvest and a new beautiful display for the springtime. Now the reason I decided to put these cabbages here in the front of the feed tank instead of in is simple. I planted a whole bunch of tulip bulbs last fall in here. I know they'll do well because the voles can't get to them, and they're starting to grow. You see the little tips, and I think I have about 50 in here, so I don't really need to put anything else in this feed tank. It's gonna be full and amazing. So you can see here the bed is with some fresh soil cube on top, and that is ideal for just scattering some seeds. This is cilantro. These are actually my seed packets. So I'm just gonna scatter some seeds out. And I know cilantro will do well here, and it has beautiful white flowers. And of course, I love to use cilantro in salsas and other dishes, so it'll be utilized. So I've done cilantro in here, and then I'm also gonna overseed with some more California poppies, Eschscholzia californica. So I just wanted to show you, this is a really generous pack of California poppy seeds. It's a significant amount of seed. I got these from Johnny's, and that's way more seeds than I'll need for this little bed. So I think I will go ahead and scatter some California poppy seeds into the feed tank, and of course in both sides of this little bed. And then I'll have to look around and see if I have any other areas that have some blank spots. Here in this feed tank, I'm not even really going to disturb anything. There's plenty of soil that's bare. Just going to scatter one little handful and see what germinates. There's already a couple of larger poppies, Papaver somniferum, growing in here. Remember, the Eschscholzia are much, much smaller. But I think they'll look really cool mixed with all of these tulips that will be blooming sometime in the spring. Well, if you're like me and you're starting to get spring fever because it's the first sort of warmish day that we've had in quite a while, lean into your green thumb, get outside and do some improvements. Whether it's just trimming back stuff that's been damaged by the cold or sowing some fresh seeds, there is never a moment wasted when you get to be outside experimenting in your garden. I hope you'll be inspired to do the same, and if you like this video, please share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe to Bree the Plant Lady YouTube channel for more practical gardening advice from my Zone 7 home foodscape. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Happy gardening.